We're all trying to figure out how to build a life that's not just successful on the outside, but one that feels truly fulfilling on the inside. So today, we're going to dive into some incredible wisdom from Dr. V. Kutumar-Ralpho and turn it into a real practical blueprint for life.
So let's just start with the biggest question of all, right? How do you build a genuinely great life? And I don't mean just looking good on paper. I'm talking about a life that feels strong, solid, and meaningful, right down to its foundations.
So where do you even start with something that big? Well, turns out you don't start with your mind or your goals. You start with the most basic thing you have, your physical body. I mean, a strong life needs a strong and healthy home to live in, and this is the only one we get.
Think about it like this. Neglecting your body, it's like trying to play a masterpiece on an old, beat-up, out-of-tune piano. It doesn't matter how brilliant your ideas are or how much passion you have. If the instrument is broken, the music is going to sound awful. That's why the very first step is to take care of your body.
And you know, this doesn't have to be some huge, intimidating thing. The suggestion here is actually a really simple 15-minute daily yoga routine. That's it, just 3 poses: a forward bend, a triangle pose, and a bow pose. The whole point is that this tiny, consistent effort every day can make a world of difference.
And get this, for heart health, there's this fascinating little exercise called the Venus Step. Yeah, it was actually made famous in a movie. It's as simple as climbing up and down a single stair, but it's said that doing it consistently can actually help clear blockages in the heart. How wild is that? A link between pop culture and some pretty profound health advice.
Okay, so once that physical foundation is a little more solid, we can move up to the next level, sharpening the tool of the mind. And this isn't just about getting smarter or knowing more facts. It's really about finding focus, getting real clarity, and, this is key, having the humility to see our own blind spots.
You know how they say timing is everything? Well, according to ancient wisdom, there's this special window of time called Brahma Muhurtam. It's in those pre-dawn hours, around 3:45 to 4:15 a.m. And during this short period, your mind is supposedly incredibly sharp and fluid, like mercury. It's believed to be the absolute best time to tackle really tough subjects.
And to tap into that clarity, there's a really simple practice. After you bathe, just chant Shivaya Gurave Namah 10 times. Now, the magic isn't in the words themselves, it's in what they mean. I bow to the great teacher within me. It's not a spell, it's just a powerful way to set a daily intention, to consciously open yourself up to wisdom.
Of course, the sharper your mind gets, the bigger your ego can get. We've all seen it happen, right? So this leads to a really tough but necessary question you have to ask yourself. Is my own ego holding me back? Because honestly, a brilliant mind without any humility, it can easily become its own worst enemy.
There's a beautiful, simple practice for this. Just go outside in the evening and watch the sunset. Seriously. As you're looking at that enormous, colorful sky, you just can't help but feel your own scale in the universe. In that moment, it hits you. You're a tiny, tiny drop in a vast ocean. And that feeling of humility just naturally starts to push out the arrogance.
All right, we've talked body, we've talked mind. Now comes the real test: character. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about how we actually show up in the world, how we treat people, the principles that guide our actions. This is where all that inner work gets put to the ultimate test.
I absolutely love this analogy for learning. See, in our early stages, it's all about the cat approach. The mother cat just picks up her helpless little kitten by the scruff of its neck and carries it. The teacher does all the work. But to reach higher learning, you have to switch to the monkey approach. The baby monkey has to actively cling to its mother. The student has to take responsibility and hold on tight.
You know, sometimes wisdom comes from the most unexpected places. This incredible lesson on character, it comes from the villain Ravana from the ancient epics. As he was lying on his deathbed, his #1 regret was that he had a great, good thing he always meant to do, and he kept putting it off. His final words of advice are a profound rule for life. If you have a good thing to do it now.
So what about when your character is tested by, say, a flash of white-hot anger? Here is a super practical, life-saving hack. The second you feel that wave of rage coming, just stop, freeze. Don't say a word, don't make a move. In your head, just start counting to 100.
It's amazing, by the time you get there, that intense peak of emotion has usually passed, and you've just saved yourself from letting a temporary feeling cause a permanent problem.
So you've got the body, the mind, the character. These are the building blocks, and they all lead us to this final, crucial stage, finding your driving purpose. This is where everything we've talked about comes together to help you answer that fundamental question we all have. Why? Why am I even here?
And that brings us to this big word, Dharma. But listen, please don't let the word intimidate you. It's not some cosmic, complicated idea. It's actually incredibly simple. Dharma is just your essential duty, right here, right now. If you're a student, your Dharma is to be the best student you can be. If you're a parent, it's to be the best parent. It's simply doing your job, whatever it is, with total focus and integrity.
And here's the cool part. When you just focus on your Dharma, success has a funny way of following you. It happens on this three-step ladder. First, your hard work gets recognition. Then, that recognition builds into a good reputation. And only then, as a natural result of the first two, does remuneration, or money and material success, show up. You see? You don't chase the money first.
But even then, your own hard work is only half of the equation. Real, lasting success is always a partnership. It's a partnership between your human effort and something called divine grace. Think of the Pandav brothers in the Mahabharata. They were the greatest warriors alive, but they still needed Krishna's guidance to win. And that grace isn't just random luck. It's something you earn by living a life of dharma, by helping others.
Okay, we have covered so much ground here, from our bodies to our minds, our character, and our ultimate purpose. So let's boil it all down. Let's bring it all home. If there's just one essential rule you take away from all of this, what should it be?
This is it. This is the whole thing, right here, in a nutshell. You could take every scripture, every philosophy book in the entire world, and boil them all down to this one single powerful line. Helping others is virtue. Harming others is sin. That's it. That is the ultimate yardstick for a good life.
Think about this number for a second. 1,440. Every single day, that's how many minutes get deposited into your account. And here's the catch. They're non-refundable. They're non-transferable. You can't save them for later. You have to spend every single one of them today.
So as we finish up, I want you to think back to Ravana's big regret. Think about that core rule of helping versus harming, and think about those 1,440 minutes you have in your account right now. What is one good thing, no matter how small, that you will choose not to postpone today?